Hello everybody and welcome back. Today what we're going to be doing for you is we're going to be continuing by showing you a new haircut which is called vertical graduation. Now some of the things that you should be aware of. Why are we doing these types of haircuts? Well, the reason why we're doing these haircuts for you at the very beginning of your education here at Capri is that they reinforce the laws of haircutting, which we reviewed with you guys right at the very beginning of the haircutting course. And one of the rules of or laws of haircutting is that vertical sectioning creates a lighter, more airy haircut. Horizontal sectioning creates a heavier, stronger haircut. So the haircut that we did on this mannequin prior to this one was done horizontally, and as you saw, if you view that video, it's a very strong, heavy looking wedge haircut. They actually call it the wedge. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that up now, and there's a couple of things that are going to happen. One, we're going to be using vertical sectioning as opposed to horizontal, and then two, we're going to be using a different design line that we did in the previous haircut. So in the previous haircut we did a horizontal hair line in both the sides and the back, and here what we're going to do is we're going to do a rounded design throughout this haircut. And the reason why is because we're doing a lighter, more airy haircut. The idea of a design line being lighter or softer is a rounded design is always going to be lighter, airier, and more soft than a horizontal. Horizontals give you corners in haircuts and are stronger and heavier, and we're going to emphasize this softer haircut and lighter haircut by doing a rounded design. The way in which we're going to do that is up here on the board, and you can see that we always start our haircuts with 4 basic sections, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a horizontal subsection from the occipital bone to the top of the ear. And then what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to take vertical subsections about 1/2 inch wide, and you're going to see me move my body around this haircut. And that's because we're following the shape of the head, which is going to create the roundness for this haircut. What we're then going to do is once we've completed that back bottom nape area, we're going to then take another horizontal subsection, and again we're going to take that from the bottom of the crown area here to the receding area. So that's a large section, and what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to our nape and then blend it or connect it to the front. Again, using small vertical subsections in the haircut. Last but not least, we will take the rest of this haircut down and work from the crown area in pie sections or radial sections, and then work our way all the way up to the front, and that'll complete our haircut for you. Now that we know what we're going to be doing today, we're going to get started and show you that vertically graduated haircut. Here we go. So as we begin this haircut, you could see that the haircut is getting shorter and shorter on our mannequin A, and what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about clips too much here. We're going to just make sure that the hair stays nice and wet. I'm going to take a horizontal section here, and again we said we're going to go from the occipital bone to the top of the ear, and that's going to be my first horizontal section. I'm going to take this clip and just take it out of my way. So we'll come over to the other side, and I'm going to again take this section horizontally from there to the top of the ear. Make sure that we take that so we could see our subsection nice and clear. Check that we're even. We're good. And now we're going to start right in the center with that 1/2 inch vertical subsection. So here we go. We're going to split this. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing our body position in this haircut. When we were doing the horizontal, we were standing here, stepping to the side, cutting towards ourselves. This is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be holding this out vertically, and what I call this is the back of the hand against the back of the head. And when you talk about the back of the hand against the back of the head, you'll find that many times when you watch hairdressers or hair cutters, they're always working with their fingertips down. And that's something that's acceptable. However, you need to be, as a great hairdresser or a hair cutter, you need to be able to hold the hair both with the fingertips pointing up to the sky as well as pointing down. Actually, this haircut would be impossible to do if you're going to try and hold this like this, because your scissors can never get into this haircut to actually cut up and outward in the cut. So we have to do the back of the hand against the back of the head. I'm going to now hold this hair down at 45 degrees from here, and we're going to now take off about 1/2 inch of hair. I'm going to use the palm to palm technique, or it is acceptable in this haircut to switch to the other way in which we showed you how to cut the hair. and that's with the underhand technique with the scissors. So both of them are acceptable, and you could see that I'm coming down in a graduated form where this length here is longer than this length here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to work our way to both sides using this as our traveling guideline. So we're going to take a section of the guideline, separate the hair, take a vertical section next to it about a ½ inch wide, and we're going to take that, push that out of our way. Again, scooping, notice the difference in position. This elbow is going up, this elbow is going down, where normally when we're cutting with the fingertips down, this elbow is up and this elbow is down, our cutting hand. So please, it's the exact opposite of what we're normally used to when we're cutting hair. I'm going to find my guideline and I'm going to cut towards it. Now, I'm going to readjust my hand, and you'll see that throughout this nape area that I need to actually bend my fingers in to get as short as I want down at the bottom here of the nape. So you see me start by cutting here and then coming in and actually curling my fingers down into that skin area in that nape area. And we're going to continue the path just like that right round here. Small section ½ inch. Take a piece of the guideline, scoop that hair from both sides. Again, remember how you hold your comb as an extension of the arm, not like this, so that you can turn that comb whichever way you want when you're cutting hair. So we're taking it here, scoop, scoop. Look for your guideline. Once you find your guideline, take that hair off. We're going to then readjust our fingers to make sure we can get down into that nape area and follow along. So we're going to continue taking subsections through this back area. And again, this is the nape area. We're going to follow, get that hair brought out 45 degrees, following around the head. So I'm not pulling this hair back in any way. And there we go. Nice and tight. Continue through here. And what I'm going to do is just follow right to my corner of the hairline. You could see me coming straight out and cutting right to the corner of that haircut. And then what I'm going to do for you guys, and you could see this is getting rounded. In this area here, because the hairline comes forward on a person, I'm going to stay right by that corner. So I'm actually in this last section by this haircut. I'm going to just pull this back slightly. So what you'll see me do is just bring this back so that I'm actually right at that corner before I cut. And that's so I don't accidentally get a hole where the hairline raises above the ear. By pulling it back, I just sort of a safety feature so that we don't accidentally get a bit of a hole in our haircut. But we do have a rounded shape right up to there, and we want to make sure that when we cut this, we are following the shape of the head. So again, we are making sure that we get a rounded design. We're going to go over to the other side, do the exact same thing for you guys. We're going to take a piece of our guideline, take this section vertically, vertical section, find our guide, there it is, take it off. Readjust your fingers to curl into the nape area there so you can see your guide, get to it, and cut it off. Almost to that corner where we're going to pull back slightly. Curl that hand in. And then last section, just coming in and checking, bringing that back slightly. And there it is. And now we're going to check our lengths before moving on. Okay, so now we're going to go up to our second horizontal section, which is going to go from the bottom of the crown to the receding area in the front of this haircut. So we're going to come in, and again, remember the different positions of the crown area. Wherever the spiral is the crown. If we go to the front of the crown, that is where the 4 basic sections meet, and that's the highest point of the head as far as the anatomy goes. So if we take it from the center of the crown, the same distance it gets to get to the front of the crown should be to the back of the crown. So we're going to work right around there, just above the widest part of the head. We're going to go from the bottom of the crown to the receding area. Okay, just a little bit higher on that. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And that's our last horizontal line before we drop everything down. And we're going to clip that up so we could definitely see our section all the way through. And now we'll do the same on the other side. So now we're ready to move on. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and connect it to the bottom and follow right the way around the haircut. Here we go. So I'm going to take a vertical section down the back. We're going to take a vertical 1/2 inch subsection. We're going to drop that down below 45 degrees. Remember, when we're doing the nape area, graduation can only occur in the exterior of the haircut. The exterior of the haircut stops right at the very middle or the widest part of the head. When you talk about dropping this down to 45, if this is 90 and I drop it down only halfway to 45, in actuality, I would be creating layers, which I don't want here. So once I get above the widest part of the head and I want to do a pure graduated haircut like we are here, I do need to drop this section below 45. So you say, well, how do I know where I'm holding this, or what elevation should I hold it? Well, think about the widest part of the head here and go halfway down to 90 there, and that's where you should be throughout the rest of this haircut. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this section here, we're going to drop it down to about where the widest part of the head is at 45 degrees, and you could see clearly the guideline that I have to connect to, and I'm going to just continue this line straight out from there. So we're going to just continue this 45 degrees coming out this way, and there's my next section for this haircut. I'm going to continue on this side first, and then we'll move over to the other side. And again, just remember, when you're working with this, make sure you take a piece of the guide, and we're going to make that guide travel to us, not pull the hair accidentally too far back. We should have a guideline from the side here now. There it is. And now I'm going to take it off. Just continuing that path throughout this haircut. And again, moving my body forward as I go. Take a piece of the guideline, comb from both sides. Remember how you hold your comb, and make sure that that hair is spread out nicely in your hands. There's the guideline. Take it off. Continue our path. If you feel that you're going too deep into your hand, you could always do it twice, and I'll show you that next. Here we go. So again, scooping with that comb, bringing it to the right projection angle. Here we go. There's my guideline. And now I can readjust my fingers just by combing again. There it is. And now take it off. We're going to now work into the side here. Now there is an area here where we just are getting to that corner of that nape area again. And I want to make sure that you guys understand what we're going to do. So we're going to take this out, straight out from the side of the head. Here we go. Projection angle correct. Make sure we're blending it into the nape or the bottom area, into our graduation. And last but not least, here we go. I'm going to take this and we're going to just pull it back to that corner of that nape. And that is the last guideline we have through the back. And now we are ready to go into our side. Now, as you could see, because of the previous haircut, quite a bit more is going to come off from the side. And that's because of the horizontal we did, or the square we did earlier. Here we go. Just follow your guideline, bring it straight out from the side, out to the guideline. There it is, and we're ready to take it off. Next section, next to last section. Again, make sure we're at 45 degrees, always, from the widest part of the head. And as you can see, my hand position is right against the side of the head. So I am not pulling it back in any way. And now we're going to stay straight out from there. Make sure our projection angle is correct. Take it off. And there we go. That is the haircut I want to create. So, now that we're done with this side, I'm going to now go into the other side, which we're going to do the same procedure as we just did. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you can see that we've completed both sides of this vertically graduated haircut. And again, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to be dropping this top section. Now that's important to know that we have to make sure that when we're working around the curvature of the head, and it'd be better if I showed you rather than just explain to you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to drop the sections here, and we're going to now separate, because we're working from the top, we're going to use two different types of sections in the top area of this haircut. And when you talk about anatomy, there are flat spots in the head, and we want to work with those flat spots, and when we have curved areas, we want to work with them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the front from the back, because in the front area, we're going to use straight vertical sections. In the back, however, I'm going to be using pivot or radial sections. And what we're going to do is, because of the curvature of the crown, this crown area, right in anyone's head, is the curviest part of the head structure. And what we're going to do is we're going to take pi sections from that, meaning we're going to go, everything is going to radiate from this point, which is the highest point of the head. And what we're going to do is we're going to do those in pi sections or radial sections, and then in the sides, in the front, we're going to just do vertical. When you use different sections on the side, not only does it make it easier, but it also makes it quicker for you. And again, when we're in the salon world, time is money and we want to make money. It won't change the haircut that much. There's still vertical sections, but these are going to be radial in the back and vertical sections on the sides. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start in the center again, just like I did before, and we're going to take a pi section or a triangular section. Okay, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be approximately a 1/2 inch wide. And what we're going to do is there's a very important key factor here in this particular haircut. One, if I just comb the hair down like this, what I'm going to see, or what's going to happen, is this hair up top here is going to clump at the top of my fingers to be cut off. And that's not going to give you a good straight line in your haircut. So what we want to make sure of is every time we take a section, when we're doing the very top of this haircut, is we want to take our hair comb and we want to spread the hair out, as you could see me doing, right from the very top of this haircut. So I am going to come up vertically like this, and you could see I'm much too high with my projection right now because I have to be at 45 degrees. But I do want to first spread the hair out and then come down with it in my comb, and now it is ready to cut. And you could see my guideline right there, and I'm going to just continue this line. So that's a key factor that we have to be aware of. You'll see me doing that continuously through the top area of this haircut. As I take new pi sections, I will always start by combing the hair up high first to spread the hair out in my fingertips so I get a good clean line when I come down to cut this. And now I'm going to bring it down. There's my guideline, and there we cut. Next section. Again, radial section, almost done with the back here. Take that 1/2 inch subsection, take that hair out of the way. Here we go, spread it out, spread it out. Keep moving your body towards the side of this haircut. Nice, there's the guideline, off it comes. A piece of that guide goes away, and a new piece comes along. Again, spreading the hair out under my fingertips, moving my body towards the face of this mannequin, coming down, there's my guideline, taking it off. Split, old section goes away, or part of that section, continue through the side. Here I'm going to continue into the front of this haircut, and you'll see the change in the sectioning, and you could see me again spreading that out and then bringing it down to the side. There it is, there's the guide, take it off. We're now going to take, instead of pie sections, I'm going to take a piece of my section from the back. I'm going to now just take a vertical section and work my way towards the face. Come down, there's the guideline, and ready to come off. We're not pulling the hair back in any way. We're going to just take vertical sections, keep our body in front of this mannequin, towards the face, spread that hair out as you see me do. Now bring it down, find your correct projection angle from the widest part of the head, cut it off. We're going to take this next section, following again the shape of the head, bringing it out and forward. There's the guideline. Take it off. Now, at this point, I have a rounded design. It's a little more horizontal on the side because of the flatness of the side of the head. And last but not least, I'm going to pull this last section, which comes in the forehead area, I'm going to just pull it to the side. I'm not going to follow it to the center of the face like we would if we get a completely rounded haircut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take that last section and just bring it back to me. Obviously, shifting creates distance, which creates length, meaning that by me pulling this last section back, I am actually going to get slightly longer towards the face because shifting creates distance, which creates length, but I'm okay with that, and we do need that for the next part of this haircut. So you could see the increase or the dive in the front of that haircut, and I'm okay. I'm going to leave that way, and we're going to move back to the other side and continue finishing up this haircut for you using the same process as we did earlier on that side. And that completes the vertically graduated haircut for you, which we do here. And we will then blow this mannequin out for you to take a peek at what we created in a finished result. Okay everyone, so this is the finish of our graduation, vertically graduated haircut. It's a classic cut. You could see that even though we did it vertically, it's much lighter than the graduated wedge we did with you earlier in the training of your haircutting. We definitely still have a heavy haircut. Now, I have haircut videos on YouTube that will show you taking this actual haircut and bringing it into a more modern look. But for now, this is our classic haircut. It is a much lighter, more moving than the horizontal that we did, as you could see with the brush action there. I think it's a classic. It will never go out of style. It's vertically graduated, does create that triangle effect just like every graduated haircut does, but it's just a lighter version. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and again, check out, if you want to see how to modernize this haircut, check out our YouTube page. Thanks for watching.